Bryant Family Medicine All Sports Media presents Around the Region, the Fall Sports Show. I'm your host, Mark Gregory, alongside Edward Hall and Mr. Garnett, not Ryan Garnett, Mr. Garnett. But as we see every week, Edward goes off to hide. He gets stage fright. Takes him a few minutes to get going, but as soon as he gets past stage fright, he'll be back on. But until then, Mr. Garnett, how's it going?
I doing pretty good. Minus another week of just hacking and coughing like I've got.
Absolutely, and I don't know how that popped up there, but we'll see if we can get that off. There we go. It's off. I believe I am too, but I've got the off-brand stuff here. I'm tired of the good stuff.
That's what I've got.
You still got the good stuff. You got the Halls. Speaking of Hall, is Edward Hall with us, or is he still working, or acting like he's working?
A mixture of both.
Well, while he's still working, let's take a minute to thank our sponsors, and maybe I could get Ryan to post some of these up here because my computer's weird. But big thank you to Bryant Family Medicine and all that they do for us. Their generosity is above and beyond. Ryan, I'm telling you, I don't know if you've got your hoodie yet. Edward was supposed to got this to you, so you go out to get up there Edward, tell him get on the ball, okay? We might not be the best looking group, but now we'll absolutely be the best dressed with these hoodies. And again, big thank you to Bryant Family Medicine, all that they do, and all their grateful generosities. And guess what, Ryan, which you already know, there's something else in the works too that the student athletes might really enjoy that we'll be announcing pretty soon. Hopefully, again, if ever gets on the ball, gets that done. A lot of normally we're on the waiting deal with Edward a lot of times. If you notice that, Ryan, we're waiting on Edward.
No.
Okay,
Well,
right,
well, the
Mister.
only thing that I've noticed, Ryan, is it looks like everything goes through Edward.
That's his story, but Mister Garnett's feeling nice tonight. So, but again, another big shout out to our sponsor, Heather Martinez, and again, her generosities. And you know, between Bright Film Mess and Heather Martinez, they went above and beyond for all of us. And everything that they do helps us do our jobs a little bit more better, helps us get out a little bit more. And, they call cold weather. It's going to be a little bit harder. We're going to have weather that's going to start keeping us home. And then there's going to be days that Edward's going to be sitting there looking at a cup of hot chocolate or saying, I need to drink this hot chocolate or I need to go cover a game. Well, I'm sure Edward just take the hot chocolate with him. I mean, that's what we do. We're ballers. We just take the hot chocolate with us and we go. But big shout out to Heather Martinez. And if you're in the market for buying or selling a home, I wasn't going to say she's a man, but she's a woman. She's the woman that you go and say, if you're in the market for buying or selling a home. And I know the interview we had with her about a month or so ago was just a totally awesome interview and learned a lot from her, and a very smart, educated woman. And she will be your definite hookup if you're on the market for buying or selling. Edward, are you officially with us now?
Well, I mean, I think so.
So how you get to doing?
Well, other than posting your graphics up for you, I mean, I'm doing pretty good. Looking for
Go ahead.
Looking forward to these cold Friday and Saturday night coming up, and looking for another sport that just opened up, and we actually went and covered a few scrimmages the other day.
So tomorrow morning ain't gonna be cold enough for you. What is it gonna be, like 15 degrees?
It ain't cold enough.
Mr. Garnett, what do you say about that?
Any weather right now is too cold for me.
But Also, a big thank you, a big shout out to our viewers already. The views are just off the charts again. And last week, folks, maybe the best we ever did on their Sunday show. And a big thank you to you putting up with us. And we try to put these. Oh, no, now disagree with her, Edward. Go ahead. Tell her she's wrong.
Well, see, all you got to do is put an extra jacket on, and it becomes warmer.
Heather, I'm totally with you. It's just way too cold to be outside. I mean, I need to like tape one of them propane heaters to my back or something like that. I don't know. I just don't like this cold. And Mr. Garnett would agree.
Well, if it's 70
It's-
degrees, it's too cold for Mr. Garnett.
That's about that's my perfect temperature right there.
But we are going to have a nice show put together for you tonight. Had three guests lined up: Jarrett Roark, Callie Abbott, and Bella Sizemore. But unfortunately, Bella's a little bit under the weather, and she still wanted to come on. And I'm like, just take care of yourself. And so they got their first game tomorrow, so. I'm sure she's got a bigger agenda ahead. That she needs to get her body right and get out there and help her team try to get a win tomorrow night. And it's not going to be an easy contest for them tomorrow. I believe they got Pineapple in town, so that's a matchup for both of them teams right off the bat.
Yeah, and I've been around looking at schedules all day today and everything too. I mean, you look at those first three games. I'm trying to get to pull it up on my phone here. I mean, those first three tests are not easy games either. I mean, they got Hazard coming up on Thursday, and then they got Rockcastle County there in that Legacy Nation Classic. So three big tough games for her and her team.
And the last time we saw Bella Sizemore, they was basically one game away from taking home the big hardware from up there at the softball field up there at Kentucky, and as bad heartbroken as I know every one of them student athletes was, Bella still came with us with a smile, and that's a Bella that we know, and I'm telling you one thing, something about Bella and that family you just gotta love, and just some of the greatest people you'll ever meet. And she come right up to us, and I know that she was hurting, but she was just still trying to keep that smile. And in a situation like that, I guess that's probably the best way to handle it. But they was warriors, and I know that that's a different sport, but I will tell you about that different sport, folks. That team that was one game away from winning it is going to be really good next year, this coming year, because about every single one of them's returning. Maybe missing one starter off of a state champion runner up. Yeah, that's folks. They're going to be hard to deal with. But we're going to talk a little bit of football here after a while, and we'll talk about heartbreaking losses. Corbin went through a very heartbreaking one, and no, anytime your season over, it's not only Corbin. It was Bell the week before. The Millsboroughs, the Williamsburgs, North Laurels. So anytime your season over, it's a heartbreaking, and because these kids they put their whole hearts and souls in it, and I watched a lot of that game, and I can tell you one thing that sticks out to me is Kate Elam running around there, getting a lot of really really good scrambles, and saw some pictures today. I don't know who posted them, but this young man's knees and elbows and just skinned up. I mean, I mean, chunks of meat out of his knees and elbows and stuff like that. And you can't tell me that's not leaving it on the field. I mean, he gave it his all, and Corbin has nothing to hang their head about. They are when you talk about Corbin Red Hounds and the Corbin Red Hound football dynasty, and I'm gonna call it a dynasty because they've owned this area for a long time now. And I mean, they that's another program. They don't rebuild. They just reload. Now I will tell you one thing. I will make this quite clear, folks. Kate Elam is a generational talent. And I'm not taking away from anybody that'll be coming up behind him or future quarterbacks at Corbin or any other school. But Katie Elam's a very special player. We've seen quite a bit of special players this year. You got to put Lander Collin in that sentence also. There are a lot of really, really good players here in these mountains, and the stats show it. I mean, if anyone else want to harp on that, go for it. There's Edward coming up the cough drops.
Listen, I didn't think I was going to quit coughing right there.
Join the club.
Ryan or Edward, do you have anything to say about that? Football. I mean, we'll talk a little bit more in depth about football later on tonight. But
let's talk about Corbindale. I mean, you have to look. The 8th grade team just come off of I want to think a middle school state championship. So I mean, their future is very, very bright down there at Corbin.
yeah, they don't rebuild; they just reload that up there. But like I said, Kate Elam he's a generational top player, a very special player. But they'll be back. They'll be back.
Absolutely. I didn't get to hear everything you were saying because I took that coughing spell, but we have got to see this season alone, multiple generational talents. And I heard you mention, Landry call it. What he done was phenomenal all season long. Then, Cade Elam, of course, we know what he done. Nobody else other than Cade could do.
The one thing that I didn't know if you heard me, Edward. I saw it on Facebook. I don't know who posted it, but it was literally his elbows, his knees. I mean, we're talking hunks of skin taken out of his elbows and knees, and just all kinds of spots up and down his arms. I mean, that's a filler took a pounding and absolutely just let it all out. I mean, he just played his guts out.
Absolutely.
But are we ready for our first guest? And here's another one who lays it on the line because I've seen it personally for several years now. I mean, this guy, he just heart, just no stop. That motor's wide open all game long from start to finish. A very special athlete in his own. Are you ready to bring him on?
Yep.
Jarrett Roark, how you doing? If I could get my internet to actually pull you on there. There we go.
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
All right. Just want to thank you for coming on and thank you for giving us your time. I know it's a busy time for you right at the start of basketball and all this other stuff. And just again, thank you for coming on with everything else on your agenda right now. But appreciate that.
Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
Again, I know you've had a lot of scrimmages and you've been working really, really hard, practicing stuff like that. But just give us your thoughts of your team right now. What you think about it.
I think we're gonna have a really good team. We played two very tough teams in the scrimmages. We played Louisville Ballard and Henry Clay. Come up a little short in both them games, but them are two top 15, 20 teams in the state. Like we took right down to the wire. So I think we'll have a really good team. I think we hopefully get to Rupp Arena this year. We come up a little short last year to Harlan County, and that really motivated us and hurt us. So yeah.
Just your teammates. Just talk a little bit about them, and then we'll go in more detail with you.
Yeah. So we got about 5 or 6 seniors this year. So we all want to go out on a good note. Hopefully get to Rupp Arena, like I said. We got A couple of sophomores that are going to move up to the row, go up a row this year, replace our guys from last year. We got a couple of juniors as well, so we're I would say pretty older team with all our seniors and stuff, and we're just hopefully going to achieve one go, win a region championship.
I'm a little bit older than you, of Jarrett, and but I'm sure you being from playing for Clay, you probably know a lot about the history behind it, and just are you sometimes at all knowing that you're going to be part of that history?
Oh yeah, that's a great feeling. Really, being a part of probably the most winningest program in the state of Kentucky. It's pretty great, and the fan base. It's great. Really, it's incredibly a part of. It's a good feeling.
Tell us a little bit about your head coach and how he's helped you not only just produce on the basketball court, but produce outside of it.
Oh right, yeah. It's always yes sir, no sir. He's taught us some habits, and anytime we want to get in the gym, all you gotta do is send him a text, and he'll be right there with us. All our coaches will, and yeah, and he's all the time on us, pushing us to be great players and even better men as well. So
Absolutely, you one of the best I've seen. So I know you don't have to be pushed much because you've
thank you.
got that heart and fire. Uh, um, Mr. Garnett again, or Edward, I'll allow you to talk.
I'm gonna try to get through
And
questions here.
we've got like the 1 year cough over here. So
Oh
so
yeah,
Jared,
it's going around right now.
yeah. If you leave this interview coughing, blame it on
I
Mr. Garnett up there. Yeah,
That's
he
what I'll
gave
do.
it
uh, what will it take for you and your team to try to win a 13th Region Championship?
It's going to take a lot of hard work. There's a lot of good teams in 13th region. It's my opinion, one of the best in the entire state. So we're going to be playing a lot of good teams, but if we all just set our mind to it like we are right now, I think we got a real good shot to get to Rupp Arena and win a region championship.
And then my next question is, what is one game or series of games, I should say, that y'all cannot wait to play this season?
I would say I'm super excited myself for the WYMT tournament. It's a real good tournament. We got beat. We come up a little short last year, so I'm really looking forward to kind of getting back this year and hopefully winning the WYMT Classic. Be a
And
good
then
one.
this is, yeah. Oh yeah, and I've been a part of that one too. I mean, it's a great tournament. But this is a question I like to ask every one of our athletes. What is your favorite restaurant to eat at in Manchester?
Oh, I'm gonna say I like Pizza Pro a lot and the Mexican restaurant. Them are my main two right there. So them are the top two.
Edward?
Pizza Pro, if I'm not mistaken, I think I asked one of the other student
right
athletes.
there by
That's
the
softball
baseball
field, right?
Yeah, softball,
Oh yeah,
baseball.
yeah, that's right where it's at. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good little place. Last time I was up there covering a softball game, that's where I stopped at when I got ready to leave. So,
Oh yeah, yeah. That's probably my favorite one. I eat it multiple times a week. Really.
so I am looking at your schedule right now. It looks like you opened your season. Looks like Tuesday against Pineville. So, have you had a chance to look at Pineville any?
I've watched some film on them. They got a really good team. They got a couple of seniors. We played them twice last year and beat them, but they're gonna be a lot better this year, I believe. It should be who knows, it could be a pretty good game. I think they just got a new transfer in as well. I don't know if he's playing, but if they get him, they're gonna be a really tough team. It ain't gonna be an easy game at all. They're gonna be really good.
So, I do got to ask you, with you stepping into like being a senior now, the having the leadership role for some of your younger athletes, the sophomores and stuff like that. You said, what are you doing to help push them to get to the level that they can play at?
Oh yeah, I'm all the time trying to motivate them and push them to be the best player they can. Tell them they need to get in the gym more, and just constantly work on their game if they want to be the best they can. So we all got the eye on the region championship. So just all the time trying to push them on that, just to work harder and stuff like that.
So this is one of my favorite questions to ask. So through the time that you have played basketball, it can go all the way back to, you being a little kid playing outdoors, with just friends or whatever. But what has been your most favorite memory playing basketball?
That's a good question. I would say probably top of my head, I would say winning the district championship last year. I would say that's probably my favorite one so far. Yeah, I would say that.
So, I've been at several Clay County games. I've been at, softball, basketball, football, baseball, and, your fan base always brings it. And no matter what sport it is that I've been up there covering, they always bring it. So let us in on being a athlete at Clay County, what it's like being out there on the court with your fans.
Oh yeah, it's the best feeling ever. Really, you know about everybody, and it's always going to be a packed gym, no matter who we're playing or where it's at. You know, we're all the time going to bring our fan base, no matter if it's a away game, home game. They're always going to show out for us. That's for sure.
So, in basketball, who would you consider your biggest rival that you play?
I'd probably say North Laurel. You know, that's always a big one. It's always one of the funnest games. It's always going to be packed. The student sections are going to be going crazy. It's always one of the most funnest games.
So, sports has changed a little bit since like mine and Mark's days, but I'm sure on the court, y'all don't like each other. You're wanting to beat each other, but off the court, y'all are friends. Y'all are going to go up to Pizza Hut or up to the Mexican restaurant after the game and hang out. So, in our days, if we didn't like you on the court or field, we didn't like you off of it. So how do you do that flip to being I'm gonna beat you, but we're gonna go hang out after?
Yeah. Well, I played against all of my good friends, and just whenever you step on the court, you're not friends, just going at it. I don't even want to talk to you, but I'll talk to you after a game, go out and eat with you, whatever. And just when you get on that court, it's nothing but business, really. That's it.
So before I get you back over to Mark, I do got one more to ask you. So during a game, are you a trash talker or do you let more of your game do the talking? 'Cause see, if it's me and I shoot a three on Mark or I dunk on him, I'm gonna go over and trip him. I'm gonna flex on him, point at him. I'm gonna laugh at him all game long. I mean,
Oh yeah, I would say I let the game do the talking unless one of them starts getting me going, talking to me all game, and I score on them or something. I might let them know every now and then, but mainly I just let the game do the talking. It's the best way to do it.
but Mark,
Um, when I think of Clay County basketball, we was talking a little bit about Corbin football before you come on, and about the excellence of Corbin football. I think of Clay County basketball. I look at that as the same level because I even remember back in my day when Clay County was coming to town. It was like, oh, you just knew you was going to get hammered. I mean, you just because Clay and still you're still at that level, and how hard is that to just maintain that year in year out?
Right. It's always, I would say, like a big thing. You know, everybody wants to beat us. Every game we go to, it's going to be a packed game. Everybody's going to be hyped up. The student section's going to be going crazy. But yeah, I like it. Really, it's a great feeling knowing playing for one of the winningest programs in the whole state. I think the win this, it's just great.
And folks that are listening to us tonight, I'm just going to read off a few opponents, and this is right. I'm just going to read down their schedule: Pineville, Harlan, South Laurel, Perry County Central, Whitley County, Wayne County, some school out of St. Louis, Todd County Central, North Laurel, Corbin, OBI, Harlan, South Laurel, Pulaski County, North Laurel, Millsboro. Where's the easy opponents here? None.
Right.
None.
Right.
That just shows that they ain't shying away from competition. I'm sure when these teams are seeing Clay County on that schedule, they're like, oh, here we go. But
well, Mark, I think I found the easy one. It's December the 10th on their bye week, their bye game.
and they'll still probably beat the bye week.
Absolutely.
The bye week will be no.
Oh, yeah.
But you also notice too on a lot of this with Clay County too. A lot of their games are classics, tournaments, invitationals. So you could tell that these schools want to bring Clay County in, and we know why. It's because of the fan support and the love for Clay County basketball. And I know that they've already harped on this, but just how does that make you feel? Each and every time you're on the court, knowing you've got all that love and support.
Oh, it's a great feeling, really. It makes us play even harder, knowing we're going to have a packed out gym. It's a great feeling. I love it. It's great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I could absolutely talk to you all night because I'm old enough to remember a lot of the old Clay County teams. I remember Richie Farmer and all them, and just I mean, I was sort of the same age as them, but they was like my heroes growing up because these guys. You just always like Clay County basketball. It always had a small part of me too. Just always fun to watch it, and the one thing about Clay County too, it's the facilities down there. That school, that campus, it's like being completely reamped. Anybody that hasn't been down to Manchester for a while, go down there and look at that campus. That campus has got new everything down there. So, Jarrett, how does that make you feel when you're coming on campus every day and you're seeing all this stuff get built around
Yeah,
you?
it's super nice. I know today, I don't know if you guys have seen it or not, they put in a new museum, like a museum of all like the older stuff, like state champion. Like it's full of like old, like a bunch of tradition and stuff of Clay County. Like it's full. It's super nice. Yeah, that's a great addition as well. But it's great. We got super nice gym, everything. It's just great.
I didn't know about that. Folks,
Yeah,
we got to ride down there and take pictures.
yeah, yeah. You guys need to check
Absolutely.
that out. It's super nice. I think you guys will like it.
Yeah, we're definitely on our
Absolutely.
way for sure. But Jerry, again, thank you for your time. I'll let Ryan and Edward finish you off.
Let's talk about, because I know just renamed the court. What's it like just playing that gym that's named after Bobby Keys, and the court is named, if I'm not mistaken, Donnie Gray Court. What's it like playing with two Hall of Fame coaches like that into that gym?
Oh, it's great. It's them two names are full of a lot of wins and two state championships. It's great, really, knowing we're getting to play with it named after them. So it's a great feeling to go out there and play for it.
Edward.
So I got one more question for I show you a few things that we did put together for you. So, what would you consider your favorite aspect about playing basketball?
I would say like all the friends you make from it. That's a great one, and I love winning, so that would be another one too. I would say all the friends and stuff you make during the journey.
Absolutely. So, we do tend to put together a couple graphics for each student athlete that does come on our show. And that is our way of saying thank you for taking your time to come on and listen to us ramble on a little bit. And I will send them to you after the show's over with, and we will post them on all of our social media sites. But out of the two I'm going to show you, let me know which one you like the best. And there's Mark trying to bribe.
No, I got something in my eye. I'm trying to.
Well, that's his story, Mr. Ryan. but
It's Mr.
but
Garnett. Get it right.
well, Mr. Garnett.
Okay.
Last week it was Mr. Ryan. So
Okay.
so out of the two, which one do you like the best?
I'm gonna say I'm gonna go with the first one. I like them both, though. It's hard to pick, but it's a hard one. It's pretty close. But I'm gonna say I'll go with the first one.
Well, Mark, do you think we should show the surprise graphic that we had made?
Yeah, hopefully we don't embarrass him or feel like we put him on the spot. Because I was going to ask him a question leading up to that. If he, I think he knows another guest we was going to have on pretty well. So
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know if he wanted to give her a shout out or anything before he posts the next picture.
Oh yeah, I was hoping she got come on. Y'all will see. She's pretty sick right now, I guess.
Yeah, and hopefully she gets better. I'm sure her team's gonna be needing her tomorrow night. They
Yeah,
got a tough one also.
oh, yeah.
Believe they're playing the same. Well, he already posted. Look,
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's nice.
but it's funny. They're playing the same school as you are, I
Yeah, I
believe.
know.
So
That's what I was just telling her earlier, and I was talking to her. That's pretty cool. Open up with the same team.
Edward or Ryan, you have anything else for him or?
But Jared, I do want to, thank you for taking your time to come on. And like I said, I'll actually get all three of them sent over to you. And best of luck on kicking off your season, and best of luck on your season.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
That's
Jared,
what we.
I got one more for you before you go. About the Hall of Fame. Is this is it on campus? Is it open to public? Well, what do you know the times and something you can tell to our viewers that might be interested in going down there?
Yeah. So like, whenever you enter, you're gonna enter for the basketball games. You'll be like, as soon as you go in the doors, you'll be able to see the whole thing before you enter the game. So anybody will be able
Okay,
to check that out. Yeah, it's really cool.
okay,
I think you
that'd
guys really
be.
like it.
Yeah, we definitely have to get down there. But Philip Rollins said, I think Clay's new Hall of Fame is amazing. So much tradition. Absolutely,
Yeah.
Philip. Just yeah, that's a story in itself. But thank you for coming on, Jarrett, and can't wait till we get to one of these games and be able to just watch you and see how much you progress. We've talked to some people. We know the work that you put in, so I know you're bigger, stronger, faster, all that stuff. But good luck to you personally, and good luck to your Clay County Tigers.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you guys having me on. I appreciate
Thank
it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Great interview. I didn't know about the museum. Now I'm wanting to go down there.
Well,
Right?
I do too now. I may take more pictures of that than the game.
I mean, again, I'd have to put all my brain parts together. But when you're talking traditions in this area, what you think your traditions when it comes to basketball be Clay County and Laura County. So I mean, I would just love to go in there and just look at all that hardware. Just all the stuff that they've got, and that would be amazing. Just that would be more than worth a cost of a $5, $7 ticket or whatever they are.
I'll try to
Absolutely.
do it.
But a great interview of Tim, and opening that game and Edward and Pavel quite well. Oh, that's a game right off the bat right there. You're talking about Pavel and Clay County clash.
Yeah, I mean, you absolutely are. We got to see Pineville firsthand there and playing in that scrimmage. And,
Against a
you
really
know,
really good Mercer County team, really good. They
I
they play all the
absolutely,
big schools. They big school player.
absolutely. I mean, and Pineville hung right there with them. Pineville had the lead, and you know, just a few shots fell Mercer County's way to allow them to pull out that close win in that scrimmage game. But Pineville's going to be it. Pineville and Clay will be a good old fashioned dogfight.
Yeah, and that's gonna be down there at Clay too. I actually wish I could make it to that game because that would be definitely one to go and try to cover. That would be a dandy of a game right there. That would be a fun one to go and watch, especially to kick off our start. While we're waiting for our other guests and um, Callie Abbott, let's go back a little bit to football while we're waiting for her. Uh, Ryan, I'm gonna let you post maybe one of your graphics that you did a really, really good job on them graphics. And we'll talk a little bit about that game. Like I said, while we're waiting to bring Callie on, hopefully we could get her on really, really soon.
Give
Yeah,
me just a
here.
couple minutes. I'm gonna pop off here for a second, and I'm gonna get our other guest on.
Okay. While we're waiting to get our other guests on, let's go for 2024. What a grafter, Ryan! You get better and better and better. Ever can't go pound it on his chest some more.
I,
2024.
and I will tell everybody I am going to update them. I've got to update every one of them now. I've got the logo for it, so I'll go in and add the logo in or similar to it.
2024 Class 1A 2024 UK Healthcare Sports Medicine State Finals Championship game, Raceland against Lexington Sayre. And I believe that would be the one to kickstart the games Friday, right?
Yes, it is.
Um, Ryan, I'd be lying to you if I could sit here and explain to you about the breakdown of this game because I don't know these teams too well. I know Lexington Sayre puts up a lot of points. A lot of points. I know Raceland puts up a lot of points. So if I'm guessing, this game could probably go 62-60.
Yeah, and I know by just looking at I look more at Sale than I did Raceland, but I know Sale's got a familiar name at quarterback, and because he got a famous head coach
And Pennington.
in Chad Pennington that used to play in the NFL. So
Yep.
I mean, he's been around the game. I'm sure his son's been around the game. That's the quarterback. So I mean, he's not going to shy away from playing in UK Stadium in Lexington and a Lexington school.
Well, Raceland also has Jacob Waller, that is 122 for 174 on his passes with 1,400 pass yards, 11 touchdowns, and their run game is actually split up between quite a few different running backs. So there's not like one running back that's going to stand out more to you than the other. So you've got about 5 or 6 that you have to keep your eyes on. But the thing that really stands out the most is the way that they get after the quarterback. You know, they have a total of 30 sacks right now, 67 total tackles for a loss, and they're not and they intercept the ball pretty good. They've got like 6 interceptions on the season.
Well, we can come back to that. I think we've got our next guest up, and Edward had the breakdown for us there, Mister Garnet. He's probably studied that for 5.5 days. But we ready for our next guest?
Try to heal at least.
Ryan is falling apart, folks. But our next guest, Callie Abbott, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay, is it Callie or Kaylee?
It's Kaylee.
Kaylee. Okay, see, I'll get it pronounced right. Kaylee Abbott. Uh, just introduce yourself to folks that ain't familiar about the sport that you're in and the school and stuff that you go to.
Okay. I'm Kaylee Abbott. I go to Whitley County High School, and I'm a part of the girls wrestling team.
And I believe, if I'm right, you're going to correct me if I'm wrong. We're rookies at this, okay? So we're asking a lot of youngs to come on to help educate us more with this sport so that we can better promote it as we go also. Wrestling, this is our first year covering wrestling along with swimming and track and field. So we're learning all this stuff. Wrestling, I believe it's your first year wrestling also, right?
Yeah.
And I believe in yesterday's tournament you did quite well. I think you won 2 matches yesterday.
I did.
So just tell us a little bit about yesterday's meet, and I believe that was at Scott County.
Yeah, it was at Scott County High School in Lexington. Georgetown. So the first match, I got in and we did pretty well. The girl kind I don't think she was really prepared for the match. So I beat her by points. The second match I went into, yeah, the first girl I beat by medical default. I don't think she was ready to be in the match. But the second girl, she had definitely been there a few years. She was really good. Um, I think they said she was a state placer. Like, she was extremely good. Um, the third girl that I wrestled, she was pretty good too. It was a good match. They don't really tell us how many years they've been wrestling, but she was a really good wrestler. But I was able to beat her in the match and get a good match in. Um, but yeah, it was pretty good altogether.
Um, we all got the coughs here. We all got the hacks, but their coughing's got me coughing. But we know you had played other sports. Well, I know you had played other sports, but what led you into wrestling?
I think honestly, it was probably the people that they had been asking me for a few years to just try it out, and I was like, I don't know about it. So this year, when I finally went in for it, I liked it a lot, and I feel like the people, they were automatically, like, when I first came in, they welcomed me and kind of showed me the basics pretty quickly, and I get along with my teammates very well. They're very supportive, so I think that's why kind of led me into it.
Um, Wrestling, and I know you know firsthand, is a very physical sport where you are contacting a lot of people. Um, how hard is it for you personally not to just get mad at some of these folks and really lose? Because I know to be able to, you know, do your moves and right placement and right body form techniques, you got to keep it all together up here. How hard is it not to get mad and start losing all that?
So I guess when you go in, well, for me, it's always like nerve wracking because it's my first year, and I'm like, oh, what if something happens in a situation I don't know how to get out of? Um, I guess you kind of like learn how to control yourself, but you also you also try to do your best. So you you got to be aggressive. That's definitely something. You got to be aggressive, and you always need to be moving around. But I don't think there's ever been a point where I've been extremely mad where I'm like, oh goodness, I'm afraid I'm gonna hurt this person. Um, so I think you just learn to like work your way around things, and work your way through things when you're in a situation you don't know how to, that you've never been in. You just learn to, I guess, go with it.
So before you ask your next one, Mark, you led me into having asked one of these. So, at the start of the match, how hard is it not to just like want to clothesline or drop kick somebody?
So, oh wow. So I guess really when you're going into it, you kind of want to focus on aggression, and um, for me, I guess it's sportsmanship. You want to be a good wrestler, but you also want to be like, you don't want to absolutely go after them and like destroy them, and kind of you just kind of learn how to go with it. And good sportsmanship's a good thing, um, especially when wrestling. Like, you shake a hand before and after the match, so that's really good. I like that they make us do that because some people at the end maybe like they'll even. So I think that's good sportsmanship.
So,
Uh,
like, if me and Mark was wrestling, and as soon as they told us to go, if I drop kicked him, would I get like a card, or would they
Uh,
just go ahead and cancel the match?
I think that's illegal.
so so are they penalties and stuff like that called in wrestling that you can lose points? Just say if you did get somebody down and you've lost your cool and you just hit them or something. I mean, is that ejection or a point loss or
Um,
anything like that?
so that hasn't happened to me yet, but I'm pretty sure that they lose points. Like, they lose points off their for their team or for their individual. If it's individual, they just lose points. So that hasn't happened to me yet, so I'm not really sure on that. But I'm sure if you do something totally bad, then they'll just have to like not let you wrestle.
well, well, I'll let Edward and I'm going to say Kelly, Mr. Garnet here. I don't know why he wants to be called Mr. Garnet. It's Mr. Ryan last week. It's Mr. Garnet this week. It might be like Tom Selleck next week. I don't know what it'll be next
Stay tuned.
Go ahead, Mister Garnet.
Uh, what's the hardest thing on preparing for wrestling before your season starts?
I think the hardest thing is honestly for me was learning the basics, which is kind of um, nerve wracking for me when I just went into it not knowing anything, and like the people that tried to get me to do wrestling for so long, they were like, yeah, you're gonna love it, and I'm like, I don't even know the first thing about it. So I think learning the basics, but once you do it over and over and over, you'll eventually get it. So I think the hardest thing for me was not knowing anything about wrestling, but even though I've only been in it, this is my first year. I've learned a lot. I have really good coaches and really good teammates that help me out. So I'm thankful for that.
And
Good
this is
answer.
a question. Yeah, yes, it is. This is a question I like to ask all the athletes that we bring on. What's your favorite restaurant to eat at in Williamsburg?
Oh,
Well, we got so many in Williamsburg. We got like five of
yeah,
them.
El Dorados is definitely my favorite.
Edward,
Kelly, is it is
So,
it is it? Do you have to put cheese sauce on everything, or are you like the red sauce?
Um, I prefer no sauce. Honestly, I don't. I mean, I like the cheese with the chips, but I don't put it on like my food.
And if you get the calls after this interview, blame it on Mister Garnet. He's giving us everyone the calls. We're all dragging their cough drops around, and it's all Mister Garnet's fault here.
Or
Mark had it. Mark had it first.
That's his story.
so you know, we have had just a few other wrestling athletes on here that has been trying to, I'm gonna say, coach us up on learning a little bit about wrestling. So when we get out to cover you all, we actually know a little bit more about it. So when you're actually taking somebody down to the mat, is there like a certain way that you can't take them down, or is all that legal on how you get them to the mat?
um, so there's certain moves that you can. There's a lot of moves actually you can do to get them down, but there is some things that I'm sure you're not allowed to do. Which again, that's never happened to me in a match. So I guess I'm learning as I go. But I'm sure if you like kick them or down or something, you obviously like that's a no go. So I'm not really sure on that.
So like if I threw Mark down to the ground, I couldn't drop like an elbow on him or nothing like that.
So there's this thing called mat return. So if you're standing behind a person, you can like pick them up and slam them on the mat. That's called mat return. So you can do that, but I don't really think an elbow would be allowed.
Well, you get lucky this time, Mark. But
He would try it. He would try it. He'd
listen,
be doing all. He'd be trying to poke miles and everything. Well, I know how you try to put the pin down. He'd be sitting there trying to gouge at miles and everything.
listen, it's all legal as long as the ref don't see you. I mean, I'd point and tell the ref that fan's over there eating popcorn or something.
Well, she actually follows by the rules. She don't need to cheat. She does just fine without the cheat.
So, like during a practice, how long does your practices normally last?
Um, so we usually start about, I'd say 3:10. So we usually go till like 5:30. So a good 2 hour practice.
And
So,
I would tell you one thing. This is the day. I'm not going to tell you how I know this. Okay, this shows you the dedication that these student athletes have. They don't get to practice on campus. They have to go off of campus to practice. and then they have to get rides back to campus to get back home. And they do it every day.
That shows the heart and dedication that they have for the sport. So how does like the point system actually work in wrestling? Does it go by pins? Does it go by like certain boundaries on the mat, or like if they tap, or
Okay, so the point system is like based on the moves that you do. So say they're like a basic like shot, which is where you go for the leg like that. That's a point. So you get points for that. So each move that you do, um, and it's 6 minute round, like a 6 minute match, and then there's 2 minute rounds. So if you if you go the whole 6 minutes without getting pinned, at the end of the 6 minutes, whoever has the most points wins the match. So it's just based on the moves that you do, and how many moves you do is how many points you get for each round, stuff like that.
so what would you consider your favorite aspect about wrestling right now?
Um, I think good sportsmanship that people have, um, which I haven't been in very many matches yet, but the matches that I have been in, everyone's been pretty respectful. Um, they've they've did their best. They haven't, and my teammates, they've encouraged me to be the best um, that I can be, and they they definitely are with me along the way, and they are very supportive. So,
So before I get you back over to Mark, I got one more for you. So during the course of a match, are you a trash talker, or do you let like your game speak? Because like if it was me and I'm playing fair and I take Mark down, I'm probably gonna get up and trip him and then flex on him or something like that after so the ref don't see that part though.
He would. He would.
uh, I haven't really talked to anyone during the match or talked at all during the match. It's usually after. Uh, Usually I try my best and try to be aggressive. And I mean, I've definitely yesterday I had a girl that was trash talking during the match and she got points taken away. So I don't think that's really a good thing to do during the match.
Well, I guess I'm gonna get a lot of points took away if we wrestle, Mark.
Mm. Folks, just to our viewers, this is this young lady's first year, and she has more knowledge in her pinky than we'll have in our lifetimes about this sport of wrestling. And we absolutely have to bring you back on, especially the more detailed we get with this, especially when we go and cover these tournaments. We're definitely going to need your help and hand for sure to educate us because you know this sport inside and out. And again, thank you for your time. I got a couple, more questions. Again, this being your first year, how have you learned from this experience?
Um, so I've learned that it's not always going to be how you expect it to be in a match. Um, it's not always going to be like even when you think, oh, I'm going to do this move. Sometimes there's a reason that you can't, or but whenever you get out of it and like you rewatch a clip of you realize like what you did wrong, and you start to learn from it in the next match. Like if it happens again, um, and at practice we get put in positions where like situations where we may not know what to do, and if this happens, um, this is what you do in this situation. So I think that's a good learning experience for us.
So again, you're already winning matches your first year. So, but what can you do to improve your wrestling game?
Definitely be harder at practice and go harder on our 3 shot drills. It's better cardio, definitely. And when you work harder at practice, it definitely pays off when you're in a match because when you go harder in practice, you expect more out of yourself when you're actually in a real match at a tournament.
Okay, now I've got to ask you. Okay, they call me Mister Hard Hitter, so I can't let you go without hitting you with a couple hard hitting questions here. So you got to be ready. It's like a wrestling match. Got to get that game face on. I know sometimes, like in wrestling meets, girls and boys might have to wrestle against each other. Do you think you could take Mr. Garnett down there?
I don't know. I haven't wrestled yet.
Mr.
But
Garnett, you better be going ahead and hitting the weight room and getting ready.
I'm gonna say I don't know if I could last 6 minutes. I'll probably last like a minute.
do they allow you timeouts in wrestling? Like if you was wrestling me down to the mat and I couldn't breathe, could I just call a timeout or something? Be able
Well,
to.
if I have you in a chokehold and you can't breathe, then you say like I can't breathe, or like you, I guess, tap out or something. Then the ref will let you up, but you can't just be like time out, time out. You just like
No, no
That would
timeouts.
that would end me.
Oh, okay. I know this is your first year wrestling, so here's my last hard hit question. I don't know if you would know every one of your teammates really, really well yet, but the ones you do know, just say the ones more your age and stuff. Go out to ask you this. So one of you are driving the van, okay? And so you're going down the road. Yeah, I'm not gonna say it's one of our Whitley County vans because we always have good vehicles. But you're in one. It can't be a coach or it can't be somebody else that we know that drives vehicles for the county. But or a couple more people we know. But just say, well, your teammates are driving this vehicle, and the vehicle tears up. Who's gonna go out there and fix it?
who's gonna be out there to fix it? Do you want me to say specific names of the teammates?
Yeah, unless I don't want to start a big fuss in the practice facility there. If you can't mention names, and I understand.
I would. Yeah, I'm gonna mention a name. I think Sarah. I think Sarah or Patty would definitely be out there. Patty, because like I, I love her to death. She's definitely the biggest supporter on the team. Um, she motivates each and every person to do their best. Like, be there and be like, guys, it's okay. I promise, we'll figure it out. Even if she didn't know what she was doing, she'd be out there. And Sarah, she's just like she's hard headed and she's very independent. So I feel like she'd be out there trying to do her best, even if she didn't know what was going on either.
So they would grab the socket screwdriver and say, "We're fixing this van one way or the other," even if they had to put some duct tape on it. Okay.
Yeah,
So they get the van going. If they're going down the road, guess what? You forgot to put fuel in that van. You stop at a gas station. Who's paying for the gas?
I honestly don't know. I guess we have to combine our money and hope for the best.
Okay, so they get fuel in the van. They're good to go. So then you go to one of your friends' house and you want to do like a Netflix and chill thing. And then somebody's getting hungry. Who's gonna go in there in the kitchen and fix everybody something to eat?
That would be me. That would be me.
So what are you fixing?
Honestly, I don't really. It'd probably have to be, yeah, pizza rolls. I'd have to say something like that will feed everyone. That's actually good and easy to.
Can't go wrong with that. Can't go wrong with that. But absolutely excellent interview. And we're gonna have to beg you back on again for sure. Like I said, we need student athletes like you to educate us about this sport, so we could grow. Even as you grow, we could grow with you and get to understand the sport the way that we should. Because we sort of let the sport down, and the more media that gets to these wrestling events, track and field, swimming, the more we can help better promote student athletes like you that are ready to go to that next level. But we can do our jobs to help promote you better. So again, thank you for the knowledge that you give us, Ryan or Mr. Garnett or Edward.
Go ahead, Mr. Garnett.
Uh, about my last question. It's my last question. How many matches do y'all normally play in a calendar year?
Um. So like,
Could I answer that? Can I answer that a little bit? I left yesterday about 7 o'clock, and I didn't get back to like 9 o'clock that night. Then them meets are really really long at times. Is that a good answer?
Yeah, especially if it's like an individual tournament. I guess it just depends on how many people are in your weight class for that bracket, depending on how many times you get to wrestle.
So that leads
Edward,
me to a question: how hard is it to maintain your focus in between these matches if you got a long wait for match, for to your next match? I mean,
I,
is that when you put the music in your ears and just try to stay?
yesterday, after my match, I would sit there and talk to my team about like what I did wrong and like how I could have done things. And like one of my teammates had took a video of my first match, and I was like, "This is what I've done wrong. This is what I could have done, and this is what I'm gonna do in the next match." And stuff like that. So I just sat there and talked to her about like how I can do stuff better. Or if our teammates are like on the mat wrestling, we just watch their match to distract us from the sitting around.
So I got one final question for you. Then I got a few things that we did make up for you that I'm gonna show you. So out of the the tournaments, the classics, the meets, and the matches that you're going to have this season, is there a certain tournament you can't wait to play in?
Um, I think I'm really excited for the dual tournaments, which is where you get points as a team. I think I'm excited to see um all the like how all the people do in the matches and see like where we place at.
So we do tend to put together a few graphics for each student athlete that does come on, and he's already trying to bribe you for even get halfway
I'm
through my
just saying
spiel.
peace. I'm just saying peace.
Ryan, I mean, Mr. Gardner, that's his story.
and we all know.
How come in my
Yeah, we all know what he's trying to do.
Yeah, yeah. So, but we will post all these on every one of our social media sites, and either me or Mark will get these sent over to you. And but we do want to kind of find out which one of the two that you like the most.
Okay. Okay, that was pretty good. I like that one.
And that's a little bit of a guess on what the mat looks like. So if it's not 100% right, blame Mark.
You're pretty accurate.
But out of the two, which one of the two do you like the most?
Can I see the first one again? I think I like the first one better.
See, Mark, there's nothing wrong with the original.
Uh-huh.
don't worry. Everybody always picks the first one. I'm like 161-3. 161 losses, maybe 3 wins or something.
I think it's
But
the detail.
But from everything that I've seen, and from everything I just heard from you, I'm looking forward to getting out to actually get to cover some of these meets and tournaments. And best of luck to you on the remaining part of your season,
Thank you.
Mark.
Mr. Garnet.
Let's say best of luck to you and your team the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Kelly, anything that you do this year, it's just going to get you better for on down the road, and any kind of like accomplishments, any stuff that you've personally achieved. Reach out to us. Let's make something up for you. Let us promote this. Let us write up something. Let us get you out there because when people see that, that's going to bring more attention to you. And I've spoke to some of your coaches. They're really, really high on you. And whatever you're doing, keep on keeping on because you're walking in the right direction. Coaches are high on you. I know personally because I've talked to them. So everything you're doing the right way, and absolutely wish you personally the best of luck for whatever your future holds for you, and wish your Whitley County wrestling team the best of luck on down the road.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Again, just an absolutely amazing interview. And Ryan, me at that age, you'd say, Mark, what's your name? I would be like, I don't know. It just, that's another student athlete that is light years above her years. She is like, and what we're seeing, and even like yesterday, winning her two matches, this is her first year, and she's competing at the highest levels, and really doing well at the highest levels at her first year doing it. And like I said, I've talked to a few people. I've talked to some of the coaches. They're high on her. So whatever she's doing, keep it on. And the sky's the limit for this young student athlete. Absolutely great interview. And we absolutely have to have her back on very, very soon.
Absolutely.
Um, but it's good. It's good for us to step out of our boundaries because they'll help us learn. But let's backtrack. Great interview, and hopefully we can get her back on soon. But let's go to the 2A game there if you want to, Mr. Garnet. The Class 2A 2024 UK Healthcare Sports Medicine State Finals Championship game. Owensboro Catholic against Beechwood. I've seen Beechwood firsthand. Watched Owensboro a little bit last year. I think if Edwards educate me on this, because Edwards outside the
Well,
top.
I
I'm
can
more.
give you. I'll give you a little bit of info on Owensboro because me and you did watch Beechwood firsthand. You know, if I'm pronouncing the name right, it is Brady Atwell, and he has 227 pass completions out of 328 attempts for 3,406 yards for 47 touchdowns. And their run game is actually split up between four. So you gotta look out for that. And I'm gonna say number 5 as the receiver because there's no way I'm pronouncing the name, and I don't want to butcher it. He's got 1,131 receiving yards.
Wow. And when you think about Beechwood, you think about tradition. We've talked a lot about tradition, the Corbin's footballs, the Clay County basketballs, the Laura County basketballs, Beechwood football. I mean, these are traditions. These are teams that's there every year. And what I see in Beechwood, they was right with Corbin, right with them for most part of the game. I think this will be a slobber knocker. I think you've already got your pick. We'll have our picks at the end of the show. But Ryan, you have anything to say about this?
You look at the records for both these. One's 14-0, one's 13-1. So they both went out and played some people. But I think this is a type game that it could be very close. Weather may be a factor with it being so cold that it may be low scoring.
So that moves us on to the 3A final.
I'm gonna skip to the 4A. I'm doing it by day.
Okay, well, we'll go with my game. Ryan, of course, keeping this straight here. This will be the last game on Friday night, the Class 4A 2024 UK Healthcare Sports Medicine State Finals Championship game. Franklin County against Paducah Tillman. And I feel familiar about both these teams. I've watched Franklin County a lot over the years. I know what they bring to the table. They're just good old hardcore smash mouth style. They like hitting you with a lot of option, and we saw Paducah Tillman firsthand, not firsthand, but seen them on YouTube. When they play Corbin, they're more of a air it out, more to, try to use their speed and athleticism. This is going to be a really good game, folks.
I agree with you 100%. So, Paducah, I do got a little bit of a breakdown on because, I have researched them quite heavy, but, I think it's Jack James, if I'm not mistaken. And he's got 3,781 passing yards for 56 touchdowns. He is averaging 270 yards a game. And then number 24, Wilson, I think it's DeMarcus, has 823 receiving yards for 11 touchdowns. And their run game, as you spoke of, they have got three that everything is basically equal between on their run game.
So that leads us into Saturday's games, and Ryan's right on the spot. And the Class 3A 2024 UK Healthcare Sports Medicine State Final Championship game, Christian Academy out of Louisville against Union County. Now, this is where me and Edward completely disagrees, and me and Edward will disagree about a cup of coffee. But this is one that we will disagree on. I think Christian Academy is a juggernaut. I've seen them firsthand last year. I don't know. I just think Christian Academy is a different level. Edward might prove me wrong, and if he does, he'll never let me hear the end of it.
Well, the Christian Academy out of Louisville and Union County game is going to be basically a rematch of Christian Academy versus Bell County from last year. So, Union County, they have a running back by the name of Jaron Johnson that has 2,533 yards running and 43 touchdowns. He's averaging almost 200 rushing yards a game. They do air it out a little bit, but it's not dramatic. But the thing that stands out the most is, they have forced, 10 fumbles. So basically a fumble a game they force. And then you jump defensively, they're all over everything. They have got 20 sacks on the season, and they have got 42 and a half tackles for a loss, and they have got 13 interceptions. So that means their defense is swarming the field at all times.
Mr. Gordon?
Yeah, I totally agree. When I seen the matchup finally said, I thought this is gonna be kind of a way we seen last year with Bell try to hold the ball the whole first quarter. I think Union County tries to take a play out of that playbook and tries to keep Cal's offense off the field.
That'll lead us into the
Somebody
Class
6A.
6A, and they did this last year. They played the 6A for the 5A also. 2024 UK Healthcare Sports Medicine States Final Championship game. Raleigh against Trinity of Louisville. I'd be lying to you if I know the whole lot. If I told you I knew a whole lot about these teams, I just know Trinity's Trinity. It's Louisville. It's Trinity. It's Trinity. It's Trinity. Raleigh's pretty good, but where it's Trinity, it's Trinity. It's Trinity. Trinity.
I don't know how much you've, looked into it, but yes, it is Trinity. But this is not a normal Trinity team that you're used to seeing with them airing it out, throwing it all over the field. So they do have Zane Johnson that has 1,806 passing yards for 16 touchdowns, but they also have Christopher Wilson with 762 rushing yards, Barry with 699 rushing yards. So they are a very balanced team, and it goes both sides, offensive and defensive. They're 18 interceptions, 99 tackles for loss, 38 sacks. They've got 8 fumbles. That they're all over the place.
Mr. Gordon?
Yeah, when you look at these two teams, I look at common opponents, and there's one common opponent that I can look at the moment. Both teams have played St. X. Val lost to St. X by 7. Trinity lost to St. X by 7. So they're very, very close when you look at that common opponent.
So that leads us to last but not least, the 5A 2024 UK Healthcare Sports Medicine States Final Championship game. Bowling Green against Cooper and Edward. Was that a rematch from last year?
To be honest with you, I think it was Bryan Station and Cooper
Yeah.
and
Okay.
Bowling Green last year.
No, I'm looking
Yeah.
at it. I'm looking at it right now here. If I can get my phone to pull it up, this is a rematch from last year.
Okay. That's what I
Might
was
be.
thinking.
No,
Bowling,
Cooper. Yeah, Bryan Station 6A, I believe.
yeah, they are.
I thought it was. I think I'm going. Well, we'll let her picks here in a minute. I just seen them both last year, and both of them was really really close. So well, we'll lay our picks down here in a second.
Well, I'll give you a little bit of common stats. I mean, you got Bailey from Bowling Green with 2,978 passing yards for 45 touchdowns. They have 3 running backs that have basically about 40 yards that separates each one of them. And they've forced 8 fumbles. They've got 112.5 tackles for a loss, 46 sacks, and 19 interceptions, and that's for Bowling Green. You go to Cooper, they have Cam O'Hara with 3,070 passing yards, 45 touchdowns. They have Keegan with 1,433 rushing yards for 22 touchdowns. And defensively, they have forced 10 fumbles, 38 tackles for a loss, 22 sacks, and 18 interceptions. So I can see this being it's going to be one of two ways. It's going to be a defensive battle, or it's just going to turn out to be a very high scoring game.
Ryan.
You look at the schedules. Both of them, as you expect, have played very tough schedules. But I can see it being, like you said, Edward, basically being a shootout.
Yes.
Okay, so here's my picks, folks, and Rod, if you want to
I've
keep
got
it
I've
in
got
your memory.
I've got a piece of paper and writing it down.
Okay, here's my picks in single A. I'm on Lexington Sayre.
Well, I'm probably going to have to agree with you as bad as I hate it.
And that's exactly who I picked. I just don't see Raceland contain that offense.
In 2A, I'm on Owensboro Catholic. I just and not taking nothing away from Beechwood. It's just Owensboro looked really really good last year.
Well, I can't. I want to agree with you 100%, but this is Beechwood, and Beechwood shows up in the big time games, so I'm going to stick with Beechwood.
And I went with Owensboro Catholic. I just think Owensboro Catholic will be Owensboro Catholic and find a way to win.
This is my toughest one to pick, folks. And you sprinkle it down. Bull County was sort of the favorite. Golden Catholic beats Bull County. Franklin County comes out of nowhere and beats Golden Catholic. So I'm not saying it comes out of nowhere, but everything tells me to pick Franklin County, but my gut's telling me to pick Paducah Tillman. So I'm gonna go with Paducah Tillman this game.
I have to agree with you, Paducah Tillman.
I'm gonna go opposite of y'all for the first time. I'm going with Franklin County.
No hesitation. Christian Academy, Louisville. Just like Edward or Ryan said, this could be like a rerun of the Bell County game from last year. Union County gonna try their best to play stall ball, if a fumble, a down or out, yeah, just anything like that change the whole dynamic of that game. No way Union County's slowing that offense down. Christian Academy Louisville.
I'm going Union County.
And I'm going with the favorite. I'm going with Christian Academy out of Louisville.
Trinity again. For the 17,000th time on state championships or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I hate agreeing with you, but this is Trinity. Trinity always finds a way to win in big game situations, and I'm gonna have to go with Trinity.
And that's exactly who I went with, just because we all know what Trinity is.
This is a hard one. This is a really hard one. I'm gonna go Bowling Green just because I know them a little bit better. I don't even know why I'm going Bowling Green. I'm just going.
Well, last season, Bowling Green did get them 28-14, but I'm gonna say that Cooper had that in the back of their head, and now it's time to throw, get that monkey off their back. So I'm gonna have to go opposite, and I'm gonna have to go with Cooper.
And I went with Bowling Green.
But
and I will make a graph that has all of our picks on it, and I will post it.
Maybe one of us can beat Ryan for once, Edward.
Maybe.
But was going to have Ryan to post up the Kentucky volleyball bracket, and everybody knows what they've been doing in volleyball. I think 8 straight years SEC champions, but we've really read the show quite a long time, so maybe Ryan can post it on their pages for us and try to fix it up a little bit better.
I already have posted it, but I'll make a better graphic that just has the 4 teams in it.
And plus, I've got a bad cough getting ready to kick in too, and I know what's going to happen here. So what a great show! 2 great interviews. Also, Edward, if you want to go ahead and post your other 2 graphics you made of Bella. Again, Bella unfortunately couldn't make it tonight, but she will hopefully get her back on really, really soon. I picked number 2. That looks pretty. It looks good. Definitely number 2.
I go number 1.
Bella, again, hopefully we get you get to feeling better, and hopefully we get you on this show soon. And just get to feeling better, and wish you and your team the best of luck. But Ryan, that being said, I'll let you have the floor, Mr. Garnett.
I will have the UK stuff updated hopefully tonight here about the game yesterday and everything like that. But my inspirational quote is from a legend. Winning isn't everything, but winning is to win it is. He also said, it is not whether you get knocked down, but it's whether you get back up. Vince Lombardi.
Can't ever go wrong, Vince Lombardi.
Well, Ryan, mine's a Vince Lombardi quote too. But let me tell you what winning means. You're willing to go longer, work harder, and give more than anybody else. Vince Lombardi.
You can't ever go wrong, Vince, for sure. Tomorrow, of course, high school basketball starts up. Ryan will be posted on the girls threads. I mean game threads. I'll be posted on boys game threads. And any of these games that you're at, feel free to comment on them game threads. Only thing we ask for on the game threads on cheer, just give us scores. Just say 4-2 so and so. 3 minutes left of the first quarter.
Or if you
Don't
don't
want
want, or
cheering, don't want bashing, don't want it's a ref's fault. Just give us the scores, and we want to promote and uplift students. We don't want to bash them. We don't want to bash coaches. We don't want to bash schools. We want to uplift everybody. So that'll start tomorrow. Friday and Saturday, I guess we're traveling with Lexington, folks. We'll try to give you the best coverage we can of them 6 games that we just talked about. Hopefully, we can do it a little bit better this time, but weather related and all that stuff, we don't know how. Anybody don't know what the future is, but we are planning on going up there and covering the 6 state championship games. So hopefully we could do it up right for you. But that being said, I'm going to leave you all with this. The future belongs to those who believes in the beauty of their dreams. Eleanor Roosevelt. From all of us at Bryant Family Medicine, All Sports Media, good night and God bless.